to this channel where you spread love and positive vibes. Thank you so much to the new subscribers and the returning subscribers. I really value you guys. I don't take you for granted. Guys, there's something I came across that shocked me. I could not believe it because it is the desire of all of us to go to the diaspora, and the diaspora, that is United States of America, Canada, UK, Australia, all those countries are considered green pastures to most of the developed countries. Actually, not most. All the developed countries consider those countries to be green pastures. And once somebody goes there, we consider that that person is financially stable and is well-to-do. But what I saw in some of the videos shocked me. And these videos are specifically Jamaicans. And I want to highlight, it's very, very hard because of the things now I've known about Jamaica. It is very, very hard to be satisfied even when you go to other countries. Because one, Jamaica is a country that is full of love, full of community, full of oneness, full of great vibes, positivity. And therefore, when Jamaicans go to other countries, and even if I was from Jamaica, I experienced the life in Jamaica. It is very, very hard to fit in another country. And I completely understood the Jamaicans in these videos, and there are many guys. I could not believe what they are saying about Canada, about USA, about UK. Because I thought when you go there, your life is no longer the same again. You are stable, you are okay financially. But to these people, they actually said they regretted. And it was the worst mistake they made to come out of Jamaica and go to those countries. Guys, can you believe this? Because I think because of the kind of life Jamaica offers its people, there is a lot of comfort in Jamaica, a lot of social life, a lot of love, a lot of oneness, a lot of togetherness, and I'm for sure this is missed by very, very many Jamaica who go outside there to look for green pastures. Some of the Jamaicans actually declared or said that when they are going, or rather when they are coming from Jamaica to go outside Jamaica to the diaspora, they literally cry in the airport. I could not believe this. And when you are leaving Kenya and going to US, people celebrate, the whole community. Everybody will know that you are going to the diaspora because we consider diaspora to be great and to be a place whereby your life turns around 360 degrees. But with these Jamaicans, when they are going back to diaspora, they cry. And some of them actually have come from diaspora to live in Jamaica because they could not be comfortable in those countries. Maybe you can first watch this guy who says that when he was in Canada, he could not be able to buy property, but once he came to the Caribbeans, he made enough money to go and buy property in Canada. I could not believe this. I thought in Canada you make money more than the Caribbeans. Guys, tell me in the comment section because I got shocked. Maybe you can listen to the video, then I'll come back.
What is the biggest thing you regret in life?
I regret in life? I regret coming to Canada because if I had stayed in the Caribbean, I would have been way better. I came to Canada, I worked, I don't know, maybe 20 years. I had to go back to my country. 7 years, living here for 20 years, 7 years in my country, give me enough money to buy 2 properties in Canada cash. 7 years, 7, and still 20 years you're just paying rent and nothing. It tells me Canada is just a trap. I own property and it's hard for me. So imagine people who come from different countries for the first year and you're wasting your time. You're going to stress out. You're going to go crazy, and you're going to die in less than 10 years. When in your country, which would have been harder, you live for another 40, 50 years. No matter how bad it is in your country, it's only going to get worse here. I'm telling you the truth. Travel the world and live a good life, all kind of stuff. Idea of Canada is to get out of Canada, not get in. And I've realized that between America and Canada, the people who are living back in their country are living better than us who are living over here.
Can you imagine what this guy is talking about? He's saying 7 years in the Caribbean after spending so many years in Canada, and he could not be able to purchase property. He came back to the Caribbean only 7 years, and he was able to go back and purchase some property in Canada. I could not believe this. Meaning that to some countries, or rather to some areas, or rather maybe, let me say maybe, because I also saw in some videos people highlighting this, that the cost of life in these diaspora countries is very, very high. Because it's like the people, the government in those countries want you to pay you after working for them and use that money, you use that money in that country. They don't want you to go and develop your country. They want you to use the money in their country. And therefore the taxes are very high. I remember there is my relative who is in the United States of America, and when she came here, she told me she doesn't know how she's going to go back to US and cope with the taxes. The taxes are very high, the rent is very high, the food is very high. All this combined together makes it impossible to actually save money and invest. And therefore this guy is actually saying he could not be able to buy property when he was working in Canada, but after coming back to the Caribbean and worked, he was able to go back and buy property in Canada. If that is the case, guys, those that are watching us and you are in the diaspora, tell us the reality of those countries on the ground. Because all of us are working for people to go to those countries. There is also other three. There is this lady that actually talked and said she's talking on her behalf. She doesn't know whether the other people enjoy living in these countries, but she said she was she considered that going to Canada was a very huge mistake to her. Maybe you can listen to her, then I'll come back.
I am not going to speak for anybody else. I'm going to speak for me. Personally, there's nothing in Canada to miss. When we were growing up, we were cultured that foreign is greener pasture, and America, Canada and England are greener pastures, and everybody wanting to go. And that is one of the biggest lie that could ever endow on the Caribbean people. Caribbean people rich in love, in help, in kindness, in being your brother's keeper. That is not in first world country. What happened is that they trick us, tell us to go to America to work because of green pasture. And they build up these expensive houses and charge us 250,000 Jamaican dollars, which is 2,000 odd Canadian dollars for rent. And then we have to pay those big rents, and those persons move to the Caribbean, buy houses at the waterfront, and have us maintaining their lifestyle. So they come to the Caribbean, they open up businesses, they buy out the hotels, and all of them are in the Caribbean running wholesales, running hotels, running restaurants, whilst we are the slaves in their country to help them to make their dream come true. Going to Canada was one of the biggest mistakes that I could have ever made. It not only damaged my physical health, but I was very close to getting mental health. I am not talking about anybody else. I am talking about me. The best place to live is Jamaica, is the Caribbean, is to identify with your people, is to speak the same language. If you want little water, you get little water. You can get piece of breadfruit, you can get 2 tomatoes. If you're sick, you can call your neighbor. There's nobody in Canada to help you. The only thing that Canada have is snow, taxes, and high rent. And silent racism. So no, to answer your question, me forgot to me not answer your question. No, me not miss Canada because there's nothing in Canada to miss. Going to Canada was one of the biggest mistake that I have ever made, and it cost me my health.
Guys, I didn't know it was this serious to stay in these diaspora countries. When I listened to this lady, she's citing the high cost of living, the racism. Actually, she's calling it silence or silent racism. And she's also talking about social life. I've started by saying in Jamaica, social life is well framed. You can actually fall sick and call a neighbor. But according to this woman, you cannot just call anyone in Canada. There is nobody to call in case of sickness. There is nobody to call in case you have a problem. But in Jamaica, there is community support. And I think that this is one of the reasons that Jamaicans, when they go to the diaspora, you cannot get that satisfaction that you get when you are in Jamaica. Maybe you can listen to these other guys. Actually, they are about, how many people? I think 3. All of them are highlighting about living outside Jamaica and the problems that you face and the hardships that you go through, and they desire to live in Jamaica again. So let us listen to them, and then I'll come back and conclude.
Yo, I couldn't wait to get home to make this video. I've been holding this back for far too long. I want to ask you people a few questions. I want to ask Canadians in particular a few questions. I live here with my family in British Columbia, Canada. The question is, why when my kids go to the playground, why is it that no white children want to play with them? Why is it that all the white children shy away and look weird or make crazy faces as if they're scorning my kids? The other question is, because I know you might be thinking it's just my kid, but why is it that other non-white parents have the same problem? What are you people telling your children? It's obvious it's nothing good about non-white people, because it's obvious in the children, and this is why racism will never go away. But you know what? I'm not doing this for sympathy or anything. Actually, I don't need any sympathy from anyone. I'm just saying I lived in a few provinces in Canada, and I've seen it many times. Many times. Against me, against my wife. But when it's against my children, that's a different story. And I'm not playing around. My Caribbean people, the ones with the brain, not the ones who are trying to conform, not the ones who are trying to fit in, the ones who understand what's going on. Canada is a very racist country. They act and they say otherwise as if it's not true, but it's true. I've lived it. And now my children are experiencing it. I just want to say for all the racist people, the people who say they are not racist, racism is a form of stupidity. Not just ignorance, stupidity. And if you're a racist person, you are a stupid person. I see my little 4-year-old girl going to the playground to make friends. She approached children and she talked to them, make conversation when kids are playing. And if they're not black, or if they're not non-white, I should say, then it's a no-no. The kids are like acting as if they're scorning my children. Growing up in Jamaica, I know that kids, not just Jamaica, I'm not stupid. I lived in the States too. Kids play with kids. They don't have to introduce themselves to each other. They just see an opportunity to play. But not these children. What is happening? What is happening? What are the parents doing? What are the parents saying? What are the parents telling the kids about black people, about Indian people, about brown people? What are the children, what are the parents doing? I have a home. I don't have to stay here and let my kids endure all this stupidity from stupid people. This Canadian life is just an experience. My people, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. I was not fooled. But when things happen to my kids, then that's a different thing. Different story. One thing, I have to say one thing. One thing. Nothing lasts forever. Tables always turn. Remember that.
So a lot of my friends and family, particular in Jamaica, asking me what is my experience being in Canada, because they want to make the transition. Now, this video is not to discourage anybody from coming to Canada. If you feel like Canada is a place that you want to come and live and, you know, start your family, feel free. Don't let this discourage you. But I want to share the realities of Canada. I've been here for the last almost 6 years, and Canada has been, it's different from after COVID. Canada has changed significantly in a number of areas, and I'll speak to some of the areas that I think Canada changed a lot in. When it comes down to taxes, Canada, I think, have one of the highest taxes in the world. So the more money you earn, the more tax you pay in Canada. It's like the higher you climb, is the higher the government take money out of your pay. So you're paying, as I'm up to 47% of your income in Canada that goes to tax. So it's very, 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 very tax heavy in Canada. The other thing that I noticed in Canada is that after COVID, the price of food went right through the doors. Like literally, you can go to supermarket with 100 Canadian dollar and you come out back with absolutely nothing. Just two, probably, if you get 2 bags with $100, you get a lot. Food over the last 2 years, particularly 3 years, skyrocket high. The cost of living versus what you're getting for your pay, what you're getting for to buy for food, absolutely ridiculous. The other thing is rent. Now, Canada have this. So before COVID, you could get a 2-bedroom for like 1,100 Canadian dollars, $1,200. Now, after COVID, the same apartment, the apartment that I live on, I got my apartment before COVID, so I got in a very comfortable rate for a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, I have some friends who moved from Jamaica, and there were some vacancies on this apartment, and they live here, and they're paying $1,800 for the same 2-bedroom. And when they move, the landlord charging $2,200 for the same 2-bedroom. So rent in Canada, it's very, very, very expensive. When you talk about the healthcare, no, Canada have free healthcare because they use the taxes that we pay to provide free healthcare. But when you go to the hospital, it's like it's no different from an underdeveloped country where you're waiting hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like literally you're waiting for 8 hours. You go to the hospital from 7 a.m. in the morning, you're not getting through, and I kid you not, you're not getting through until around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. That's when you actually get to see a doctor, because there is a shortage in the healthcare workers. There is no doctor, and you can't go to a private doctor. You can't say, all right, you have your money, so you're gonna go to a private doctor. Canada not deal with private doctor. The rich, the poor, everybody goes to one hospital. Furthermore, you can't even get a family doctor. There's a 6 months waiting list to even get a family doctor here in Canada. The other challenge with the reality of Canada is, honestly, Canada boring. Canada boring. There is nothing to do. It's good when you have like your own community, that you can have that level of culture. You know, you have your Jamaican community, you have the other ethnic groups who have their community. Community is big. If you don't have a community in Canada, man, Canada is boring. Now have nothing to do. So I'm grateful that here we form a nice little community where people can display culture, you can talk your language, you can cook your food, and you just feel Jamaican. Without that being present, Canada boring. So a lot of people just work in Canada and save them money so that they can travel to different countries. That's what I've been doing over the last couple of years. Like me, I can't stay 12 months in Canada. It's not possible. It's not possible. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Canada is still good in some instances where, you know, the crime and violence is not as bad. They have good gun laws, but overall, if you're not a strong person, if you don't have community and you don't have the support, Canada is very, very depressing. And I'm grateful to be here, and I'm not discouraging anybody from coming. You can come and you may find it to be good. The other thing is I want to mention is that with this current government, what they're doing, they're reversing a number of the immigration programs that they had for people to get easy access in Canada. So a lot of temporary residents, a lot of people going back to their countries. Trust me, if you do the research right now, a lot of people going back to their countries because people just cannot afford to live in Canada anymore, or the government make it so difficult for persons now to obtain permanent residence in this country. But still grateful to be here, but I just wish things will change soon. That's just my reality of Canada.
Yeah, I must say this, man, to all the Jamaicans that's living in Canada right now. How are you guys doing? How are you guys surviving this place? If you don't notice nothing, like your bills the same, the groceries the same, the mortgage is the same, the house price is the same, you love the weather, then this video is not for you. Just scroll past. But for the other Jamaicans, I must say this, man, how are you guys doing? Because this place is very draining, very depressing, very mindful. So every day I wake up, I'm like, I don't think I can do 2 more years in this country. I don't think I can do 2 more years here. Like, this place is very draining. And with the immigration, it just make it 20 times worse. 20 times worse. So I'm thinking every day, man, where am I going? When am I going? Is it gone? Is it Jamaica? Tell me in the comment if I'm going crazy, but this place is draining.
Can you imagine all these people saying that life in diaspora to them was not a bed of roses? It was not that simple. It was not that good. And according to one of them, is saying the government of Canada, specifically they are talking about Canada, the government of Canada makes taxes so high, and after Corona, one of the guys said after Corona, it's like the prices of food escalated, the prices of rent escalated, and it's like the Canada government is making it very, very hard for people to get papers to be citizens, or rather to live like what can I say? To be citizens so that you can get a job. I have some relatives in Canada, and it was a shock to me because I didn't know all this happened. I thought once you arrive in diaspora, it's a very good place to be, and it is a very good place to actually make a lot of money and come back and live good in your own country. And I came to understand maybe that is why most of the Jamaican people, they work in diaspora and invest heavily in their land, because it's like they plan to actually create money there and come and live in Jamaica. I've heard so many people saying they were living in US, they were living in UK, they were living in Canada, but they came back to Jamaica to retire. Many people come to Jamaica to retire because who would not want to live in an environment where people love you, people show you love, people are concerned about you, and I've said it once again and again. And therefore, I think that some of the Jamaicans cannot be so comfortable in those diaspora countries because of the type of life they live in their own land and the type of concern the people give them when you are in Jamaica. People want to know, how are you? How are you faring? what is happening. And therefore, this is why I think all these people are complaining about the diaspora, because life in Jamaica is so comfortable for everybody to desire that kind of life. A life whereby people appreciate you, people want to help, people celebrate you, people are happy when you are doing well. This is the kind of life all of us would desire. And of course, you have the social life. Social life is everything. You have somebody to talk to when you are down. You have somebody to talk to when you are crying. You have somebody to tell your victories and your celebrations. That is the best type of life. And I think that is why these Jamaicans find it so hard to actually fit in the diaspora countries where social life is not there. The cost of living is very high. By the way, one of the guys was saying to get friends to play with his children was a big thing. The white children don't want to play with the black children. And the black children also don't want to play with the white children. And he was citing, it's like the parents tell their children things, and therefore the children see they are different. And you know, children are very innocent. Children should just relate automatically without even caring what kind of color or how you look like. But to this guy, he's saying that it is very hard for his children to fit in. And he says, I don't mind going back to Jamaica so that my children can be comfortable and live good. Guys, I really got a shock. I didn't know all this. But now I know. Thank you once again for watching me. See you during the next video. Bye-bye and God bless.